Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. Today we will see one more concept and a very important concept in machine learning, that is stages involved in machine learning. So in machine learning we are saying that we'll be giving some data, and from that data the machine will be understanding the patterns and it will predict and make the decisions. So the step-by-step procedure how the data converts to the decisions is the topic. So let's start the session. Stages in machine learning. Stages in machine learning. So how the data, how the step-by-step procedure of converting the data to the decisions. So here the first one is a data collection. So before starting these stages, let us have a real life example and we will relate each and every step to that particular example. So here I will be taking the example as house price detection. House price prediction, not detection, prediction. So what is the input here? I will be taking some house details like number of rooms, the area, etc., and the output will be the cost of this particular house. Okay, I'll take this example. Okay, we will see the same example in all the stages how it will be done. So data collection, the first phase is the data collection. So in the data collection, so that is a process of collecting data to train the machine. So first we need to train our machine so that it will analyze the patterns and it will predict the decisions. Okay, it will give the decisions. For that we need to collect the data to train the machine. So what kind of data? So here the sources from where we can collect the data, sources of data will be like from websites. So we can collect the data from previous websites, existing websites. From survey, we can take the survey. Okay, and from mobile applications, so etc. So there will be a lot of sources from where we can collect the data. So why we are collecting this data means to train the machine. So in order to train the machine we are collecting a lot of data. Okay, so for this example, let us take this example. So what is the example? House price prediction. House price prediction. So we need to collect the data, like number of rooms, area, house area, in square feet or square yards, whatever it may be, and location, color, the house color, house owner, cost, etc. So these kind of information, whatever the information we are getting, everything to be collected from these many sources, and we need to collect as many as records, because all these records we need to train to the machine. We need to give this particular information to the machine and we have to train that machine. Okay, so for that the first step is a data collection. So we need to collect all these data. So once the data has been collected, next, the second stage, data cleaning. So what is this data cleaning? So whatever the information we are getting from different sources, so that may have some missed data. So some values may be missing or some may be a duplicate things. So in order to, we have to avoid all such kind of things. So that is called as a data cleaning. So this is the next step of data collection. So whatever the data we are collected from the data collection. So this is the process of removing missing information, duplicates, etc. So such kind of things, wrong inputs. Okay, wrong inputs may also be available in the data collected. I mean, data which we have collected. So for all that thing, we have to remove that one. So what are the steps? That means what are the functions happens in this means identify the missing values. So some data will be having the missing values. So we need to identify. We need to correct the wrong information. So some details may be wrong, so that wrong information should be identified, and we need to remove the duplicates. Definitely the same content may be available in different sources, so we need to remove the duplicates, and all these things should be happened in this data cleaning. Okay, so this is the next step of data collection. So example, see here, house price prediction, right? House price prediction. So some if there are no number of rooms, so we need to remove that one, and no proper house area, so this also we need to remove or we need to clean it. And duplicates, we need to identify the duplicates, the same house, same location, same owner, so we need to remove all those records, right? So this is the data cleaning. So once it was done, the next one is, so now we are having the data with the correct information, right? Now we are having the data with the correct information. So I'll write here, the first one is a data collection, that this was done, and from that the next one is data cleaning, it was also done. And then now the third one is feature selection. Feature selection. So as the name itself indicates, feature selection means we need to extract the important information from the data which we have done after the data cleaning, right? So the data may have a lot of features, but we should not consider each and every one. So we need to consider only the essential things, okay, important things which are required to predict the price. So other information may be discarded. So the same thing happens. So this is a process of selecting important information, from the data. So why? So what is the reason to get this one means it improves the accuracy. So only it requires only some information to predict the prices, so it improves the accuracy, and also it makes the fast decisions. So for these kind of things we need to select only the important things. So for example, let us take the same example. So we are supposed to collect the information like, so house area, house color, owner, location, number of rooms, etc., right? So from this we need to remove, we need to select only the important information. We can ignore the remaining information, right? So unwanted information. So important information, important info. What are these important info means? So one is the number of rooms is important, and other than that, another important information is house area. House area is very, very important. So, and next it is important about the location. So these three are enough to predict the price. So unwanted info, So unwanted info means with respect to prediction of prices. So what is the info? The color is nothing. No need to bother about the color. And owner. No need to bother about the owner also. So that means the both are important, but these two are unimportant in the process of predicting the price. So that's why we are just avoiding this type of information and we are selecting this type of information. So this is called as a feature selection. That means only selecting the important information, not the unwanted information. So this is the third stage in a machine learning. So which is a feature selection. So once the feature, so the important features has been selected, then what's the next step? So now we are having the data, perfect data, okay, and then the fourth step is model selection. Model selection. So that means now we are able to select the best machine learning algorithm. So we will be having a lot of machine learning algorithms. So among all those algorithms, we need to select the best machine learning algorithm to make the decisions faster and predict the answer perfectly. So this is a process of choosing best machine learning algorithm. So what is the use of this choosing the best machine learning algorithm means? Obviously improves accuracy. So if accuracy is improved, so it will be efficient, and if it is efficient, that implies so perfect predictions. Perfect predictions, that means correct decisions, right? Perfect predictions will be done. So example, so we'll be having a lot of machine learning algorithms. So we can choose decision tree algorithm. So we'll discuss all these algorithms in our further sessions. I'll just list out the algorithm names. Okay, decision tree, random forest, linear regression. So there are a lot of machine learning algorithms. So we need to select one algorithm among these one to improve the accuracy. So the fourth step is model selection. So now we are having some data and we have removed the duplicates and we have cleaned the data and we have selected the important information and we have selected the perfect algorithm, machine learning algorithm. So what's the next step? So the next step is model training. So model training means now with the data which we are having, that should be trained to that model which we have selected here. So it's a process of training the machine with available data. Now the actual training will be done. So what it will be done with training? So in this particular training, what happens? Identify the patterns. It will identify the patterns. So because with the patterns itself, it will be giving the predictions. So it identify the patterns. It will identify the relationships. It will identify the relationships. So because based upon these things only, it will be predicting the prices. So example, so it will give a lot of data. That means if house area and a cost, let us take some house area is thousand square feet. So around some 30 lakhs rupees. If it is 2000 square feet, it is some 40 lakhs rupees. It is some 1500 square feet, it is from between 35 lakhs. So like that we'll be training. Okay, so these are all the data which we have collected so far, and we are being I mean the machine is being trained with these kind of information, these kind of data. Okay, so from these it will be identifying the patterns, and it will identify the relationships, and it will give the perfect predictions. So this is the model training. So the next stage is model training. Next, after training, what's the next? Model testing. So after completion of training, we need to test the model. So whether the model is correctly trained or not. So whether it was giving the perfect results or not. Okay. So here the model testing process of checking the performance of a model. That means we are selecting a model here. So model, it seems their algorithm. Then we are training that algorithm with a lot of data. And now we need to check the performance of model, whether it has been perfectly trained or not. So here, so we have to, I mean, we are supposed to have two questions. So how accurate it was, how accurate the model, and is the model ready to use in real world applications. So once it was trained and perfectly, so we need to get an answer for these two questions. That means how accurate the model was after completion of training, and is the model is ready to use in the real world applications. So these two questions we need to answer. So in this particular model testing, right? So example, so in our previous stage model training, we have trained the machine with a lot of data, right? So here we'll be giving some new things, right? And we'll check. So we'll give the house area as some 4000 square feet, and we need to get I mean whether we are getting the cost as some 50 lakhs or not. Okay, so we need to check whether the given cost is I mean is accurate or not. So whether the machine is giving the perfect result or not, right? So whether we are getting the perfect result or not, whether the machine is able to predict the correct cost or not. So this kind of things we need to check in the model testing. So this next stage is model testing. So once it was done, that means if you got an answer for these two questions, so we can came to know that the model is accurate and the model is ready to deploy in the real world applications. So the next phase is deployment. The next phase is deployment. So what is a deployment? Deployment means so giving this model to the real world applications, using the model in the real world applications. So it is a process of using trained model in real world applications. Real world applications. So what happens here means it will be integrated. So this particular model will be integrated into websites and integrated into apps also. So whether this model is integrated to websites and models. So what are the applications? That means we are using these websites and apps. So what are the applications? Simply we can say, so applications for this one where we can integrate means, so one is a chatbots. So we can use these kind of models in a chatbots, and so whatever the things we have done, recommendation systems, and simply we know that house price predictions and all these things in those websites we can use. And here we are supposed to give the information, that means like what is the requirement means number of rooms or number of area, so that the system will predict the value, that means a cost. Okay, so that will be done in this particular deployment phase. So this phase is called as a deployment. So that means we have deployed the model, okay, the trained model in applications and websites. And the last stage after deploying, monitoring and improvement. This is the last phase of machine learning. So sometimes the model may give wrong informations. So we need to keep on monitoring that particular model, so which we have embedded in our websites or apps, and we need to retrain. If required, we need to retrain the model, and we need to improve the efficiency of that model. Okay, and we can keep update. Okay, we need to keep update the model. So this is a process of checking and improving the performance. So this is a process of checking and improving the performance of a model, right? So in this, what we are doing, so we need to uh, check the mistakes, if required, retrain the model, etc. Right? For example, so let us take the same example, house price predictions. So year by year, the market price will be changing. Okay, so in this year, we have trained the model with this particular, I mean, whatever the charges available in this year. But maybe after 2 years, the market price has been changed, will be changed automatically, it will be changed, right? So this product or this model will not be worked for later years. Okay, so in such case, so for example, here I'll write, so market price may increase year by year. So in such cases, what we have to do, recollect the data, we have to recollect the data, and we have to retrain the data, sorry, retrain the model, we have to retrain the model, right? So that we need to keep the app or a website up to date. We need to periodically we need to update the model, okay, based upon the market prices. So this should be happen in the last stage. So here the last stage is monitoring and improvement. So these are all the different stages. So you can observe from the first stage the data, and the last stage is a prediction. So the step by step process, how the data is taken by the machine and it was giving the predictions happens in all these stages. So first, data collection, data cleaning, feature selection, model training, and then model testing, deployment, as well as monitoring and improvement. Right? So hope you understood, you got an idea about the machine learning, what exactly that machine learning will do. Right? So we have taken one example, that is a house price predictions, and here the input is house details like house area and the location, so that we need to get the cost. So this should be predicted by the model. Right? So these are the stages involved in the machine learning. So hope you enjoyed the session, and if you are having any doubts regarding this one, feel free to post your doubts in the comment section. Definitely I will try to clarify all your doubts. If you really enjoyed the session, like my session, share my session with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.